remember what game I was playing that made me think of that.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
I
That's what I was just asking. I wasn't sure what we were actually doing.
All right. I was just trying to remember what it was. That's all. But that works.
know which I don't know. I thought is what are we doing?
I don't know.
Because Jordas asked me the same thing, and I said we'd probably be better off doing the 2017 one since I didn't really think too much about favorite characters
Oh,
after the day that I mentioned it.
okay. Yeah, we can do.
I think it would be a lot easier to wing characters than an entire calendar year retrospective, since none of us seems to be particularly prepared.
We should talk about Star Wars.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it on the 29th.
Okay. Yeah, I actually saw it at this last weekend. My one movie every 2 years that I get to see in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it too. But nah, yeah, I mean, we're PlayStation
We can just talk
podcast,
about
not
Star
Star
Wars in
Wars.
general.
Nah, I mean, like I could do the characters one, but it's like the 2017 one. I mean, it's like always like if we wanted to, we could just like go through Google Chrome just to be reminded. But I don't even think I need any reminders as far as like the games I've got. Like,
Well, it's not even less so much the games that we got or every single comprehensive list of games that came out this year. I was just thinking more along the lines of a general discussion about this year in gaming and how good it was, honestly. We
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
because I mean we had all of the PlayStation exclusives that came out earlier in the year, like Persona and Nier and Horizon.
Nintendo finally came
Like
back into the party.
Yep,
comparing it to
Nintendo
other
Switch is a.
years. Yeah. That's what
I
I
mean,
thought
people
it
are
would be
saying
about too. But yeah, no, all right. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I don't think.
No,
people have
yeah,
been
you're
saying
right.
this is one of the best years in gaming ever, and honestly, I kind of agree.
I don't think we have to be prepared for that. Like, it's just kind of
All
a.
right.
Yeah, you can talk about you as a adopter now can talk about VR since
Yeah.
computer wise it's not doesn't seem to be hitting it off too much, but from a
Hmm.
PSVR standpoint, it seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. They're selling more and more. I'm sure, especially that ridiculous GT Sport bundle. $200 for all of it, like the camera, the game, and the thing. It's like if I had only waited like 2 weeks or whatever, I would have saved $40 and got a free copy of GT Sport. But I gotta imagine a lot of people are jumping on that. But okay. I just want to listen to the stream real quick, and then we'll start recording. It's okay.
And we probably won't spend too much time talking about it, but Xbox is worth a mention. They keep putting out consoles, but no games for them. But I'll be right back, real quick, before we start.
All right.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Like I had to change the volume a little bit, so I'm gonna have to give it another listen now that I have it adjusted.
I just realized I didn't even open Audacity. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Luckily, it usually opens up real quick. Testing 1, 2, 3. Baba booey, baba booey. Hey, both. Testing.
I already did this,
Whoa,
but
that's
let's
loud.
join the party. Test.
It's not a competition, Brian.
I know.
I was very
But
annoyed at myself for forgetting to do that first thing.
it was worth double checking though, because hate to be that guy again who didn't open Audacity or had something wrong with it.
All right. Now I'm ready. Okay. All right. So, are we all ready to go? On 3?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, we'll go on 1, 2, 3. What's up, everybody? This is the PlayStation Lifestyle Underground Podcast. We are an unofficial podcast of PlayStationLifestyle.net. I am Hugo Stiglitz. You can find me on PSN and all the PC networks as Hugo Stiglitz _420. And Xbox Live is THNK4URSELF. And I actually just got a new friend the other day on Xbox Live. Now I'm up to 3. And it was Brian. But yeah, you guys want to say what's up?
Hi, I'm Jordash. I'm all over the internet and PSN as Jordash7K.
And I'm Brian Mashallah. You can find me on the comments and forums as Brian Mashallah and PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox Live, all that jazz as Cloudstripe768.
Cool. So yeah, lately I've been playing a bunch of VR stuff, and I got a couple new VR games, because there was actually a sale, a good one. I got Skyrim VR, and let me just say, that is the way to play Skyrim, period. Like I said before, I did never like Skyrim on PS3, and just the gameplay in general, but in VR, it's awesome. I mean, I haven't played a ton of it yet. Like, I did go through that big place, that first big dungeon. You know, with like you see it like when you first start the game, like all those arches or whatever, but it's kind of like all broken down and stuff. But you know what I mean. If you've played Skyrim, it's like right at the beginning. So that's all I've done so far, but it's like already just really awesome to play in VR. Also, Farpoint, I've only tried about 10 minutes of that so far. Before I just stopped so I could, join the podcast. But it is pretty amazing so far, and it's like, man, like, because I did get the aim controller too, and they do a much, much better job of calibrating that thing, and like giving you a hollow sight instead of you trying to actually line up the sights on the gun, which some other shooters do. And like Doom VFR, for example, I tried using it, and like the calibration in that game was always terrible, but it's even worse with the aim controller, because then you also have to worry about the gun being out of calibration, and I don't see a way to fix it. Like it's very annoying, and it's a shame because otherwise Doom VFR is a ton of fun, but it's like they did the worst job as far as giving you options for calibrating not only your headset but the controller itself. So man, the Bethesda should really smarten up. Like it's a VR game. It's made directly for VR. How do you not have a calibration option that works? Also, Starblood Arena was another thing that was on sale that I got, and super fun and addictive. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Rigs, but that instead of running around on the ground and jumping, like you're just flying around. But it's super tight arena, like just battle type thing, and it is so addictive. Of course, been playing GT Sport, some Dirt Rally in VR, obviously, but yeah, I mean that's about it. Other than a bunch of other random VR stuff I've been messing around with, I did finish Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. I'm not as high on it as seems like everyone else is, but it was still good. Oh, and I did try 100-foot robot golf. It's pretty awesome. It's wicked goofy. Lots of humor in it, and it's a pretty simple golf game, but it's still a pretty fun one. You can even like run in front of the golf balls and stop them like midair and stuff. Like if you're like playing against other people and stuff. And so far, my favorite robot to use is Project C because it's controlled by 5 corgis. But yeah, I believe that is it. That is all I have played in the past week, which has been a lot.
Good times, good times.
Yep.
Yeah, see, this week I didn't play anything this week that I didn't already play last week. I played some Ghost Recon Wildlands, I played some Madden 18, I played mostly Everybody's Golf, and then I also managed to throw in some Hearthstone here and there. I did buy, I think last week, Age of Empires 2 HD was on sale, and I bought that for a couple bucks, and I'm hoping to play that some this weekend, because good old Age of Empires 2 is a 1998 PC classic. Do you guys even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah, loser.
It's I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is Command and Conquer, but Total War, Warcraft, Starcraft sort of type game. Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Good old
The
action.
late 90s, just almost everything on the PC was RTS, and there's so many of them.
Yep.
Tons. And a lot of them were good.
Oh yeah. I love me some Warcraft. Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
Still actually play that occasionally to this day.
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't go too crazy this week. I finally put down No Man's Sky. But how about you, Ron?
I actually haven't been playing too much. I'm going to list off like 6 games, but the combined total that I've played them is like 6 or 7 hours. Basically took it easy and did some shopping and watched some movies. But games that I did play, I played a little bit of Star Wars Force Awakens, the Lego one. Our esteemed colleague Jordash hasn't been able to shut up about it for the better part of the last like 6 months, so I popped in my copy of Ghost Recon and played a little bit.
I was really hoping you were about to say a different game there.
Deformers.
No.
Can I even pop in Deformers, or is it digital only?
I think it is physical. I think it can only be bought at GameStop, which if that doesn't tell you the quality of the game, I don't know what does.
Nice. Song of the Deep was like that, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, there's an Insomniac game too.
Yep. Let's see what else. Some Xenoblade Chronicles, of course. I think I was on the very tail end of finishing the Breath of the Wild DLC when I last spoke last week, and I finished that off. And honestly, the game that I've played the most in the last week has been Pokemon, which I only play at night. So
Yeah.
just goes to show how many games I played this week. But
Yeah.
that's
Nothing
about
wrong
it.
with a week like that.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of did the same thing. Played a bunch of different stuff. I didn't actually put a whole lot of time in. Just it was super busy all week. But
about that time of the year.
yeah. Luckily, I've got all my shopping done, so that's always good. But yeah. So we did not discuss news stories this week at all.
Well, we're talking about 2017 all
yeah,
inclusive.
that's
So
Well, I
not
had-
true.
I
But
had
I don't think there were
two
any
that
this
I
week,
forgot.
were there?
The
honestly, I
biggest
can't think of
one-
anything.
That's why we forgot it.
I got one for you. The biggest one that I could come up with for the entirety of the last week has been that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy has become the top-selling remastered collection in PS4 history.
Jeez.
So, considering it came out in June, about 6 months ago, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. It's Activision, you know?
Yeah, but they seem to have put the right team that actually gives a shit about the game and the quality of the game and stuff like that on it. So, what is it, Vicarious Vision, I think it is, the developer. They did a pretty damn good job. I've only played the first Crash and a little bit of the second. But for the most part, it's without actually ever playing the first PS1 games, this looks like a really good port. Well, not port, it's more of a total up and down remaster, remake.
Yeah, it hasn't dropped to below $30, so I'm not touching it yet. But I really want to get it.
Yeah, my wife it's the one game my wife bought day one. And I've enjoyed the fruits of that purchase a little bit.
Yeah, they're really good games.
Yeah. And the other news story that I got for you.
Well, I had one.
Real quick. Oh, then please, share.
A very big update is coming to GT Sport tomorrow. It will add the GT League, which is like the old school Gran Turismo campaign style thing, and a bunch of cars.
Oh, nice. They're putting in like a older type campaign.
Yeah.
Where you just do your 3 races and then you finish this circuit or whatever.
Yeah, because apparently
that's what I need in my life to be happy in a Gran Turismo. I need pretend circuit stuff. I need that in my life.
Yeah, see, I liked the style of the campaign they did with GT Sport. It's just they didn't put enough, at least for like the mission challenges. The driving school stuff, obviously that's driving school stuff, so that's not too interesting. But the mission stuff there was some that were really fun and better than I thought the most GT careers of the past. Because I don't know, it's like it depends. Like, because unless they do some like real restrictions and make it a real challenge, I tend to not like the GT campaigns. I don't know. They need to like step up the difficulty a little bit for me, I guess. But yeah, no, it's cool because it'll be a good way to earn credits, so I can buy all the 12 new cars, which would otherwise be a little difficult to earn if you were doing just online races. So
yeah,
yay. But also, yeah, Assetto Corsa did get DLC yesterday for free. It is an awesome one. New track, bunch of new cars. And so, yeah, I did play that too. So, yeah, racing game news. Yay. I'm sure you guys are super psyched about that.
I'm excited for it.
No, you want exciting news. Get ready for this. Dynasty Warriors 9 lets you buy and customize a house. Fuck yeah, Game of the Year 2018.
I don't like those Dynasty Warriors games. I only played one of the Dynasty Warrior games a little bit, and I played Dragon Quest Heroes, and I didn't like either. Like it just felt like I'm just like hitting a few buttons, and the enemies don't really matter. They're just there to get pummeled.
Yeah, that's more or less what it is, but it's mindless. Yep. Mindless hack and slash. For me, fun. Although the best one, I think, of the bunch is Hyrule Warriors. So if you ever find that real cheap for whatever reason on Wii U and yours is still in play for whatever reason, then I recommend it. It's pretty good, actually.
I am getting Mario Maker for Christmas, and can't wait to go through some super expert levels. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I'm insane.
Yep, I'm inevitably waiting for the Switch version of that.
Yeah.
That's without it's almost a guarantee at this point that any decent Wii U game is coming to Switch.
Yeah, it should. I mean, the Wii U was kind of short-lived.
Swing and a miss, yeah.
Yeah. Very few people had it, so why not make money on great games that you already made? Get more people to play them. But yeah, speaking of the Switch, this podcast we wanted to talk about the year 2017 in gaming. how it compares to other years, and I think the Switch is a good example of why a lot of people are saying that 2017 is one of the best years in gaming ever. Um, there's a lot of reasons besides that too. PlayStation also had a killer year. Tons of great games came out very early. Lots of stuff for everybody too. Gran Turismo finally came out. It is definitely, I think, one of the best years in recent memory, but it's not, for me personally, it's not my best year.
Okay, why can you automatically dismiss it as not the best year? What happened in some other year that makes it your
Like I
hands
said,
down the
for me
best?
personally, it's not. I mean, just because there's a few real standout games for me, but it's not like 2016 where I had two games that were very hard to decide for Game of the Year over, or 2016 I had a hard time narrowing it down to 5 games, while last year I didn't. It's just that there was a ton of games that came out last year. Um, they just weren't for me. Like Neo, Persona 5, Nier, all those are great games. They're just not my cup of tea. So that's why, for me, that last year wasn't the greatest. Plus, I don't have a Switch. It would be a lot different if I had a Switch.
I thought Grand Brumismo would be enough to push you over the top just alone.
No.
Well, I think aside from your personal things, even though I barely partake in new games, 2017 had a lot going on. Nintendo made their comeback. Tons of great PlayStation games. Xbox didn't go out of business. It was a
Yeah.
banner year all around.
Yet.
I mean, I just remember some recent years where we had a lot of good stuff. Like 2015's another one. I already mentioned 2016. 2011, I mean, let's not forget about that. Skyrim, Uncharted 3, Portal 2, Arkham City. Bunch of great stuff
Rune
that
Factory.
year. 2013, I mean, Last of Us, the PS4's launch, Bioshock Infinite, a little, I don't know, indie game. Didn't sell a whole lot. Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a lot of shit in 2013 too. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I don't know. There's been a lot of great years. I don't know. It's just it's hard for me to say any of them are the best, really. I'd say they're all up there. You know what I mean? I have trouble narrowing it down to one.
1993. That's the year.
Or 97. Final Fantasy 7 and Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
No Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear Solid 1?
I think that's 99.
It was?
Or 98.
Shit.
Yep.
Let me look at the Google machine. When did?
Yep.
2004 is definitely a great year too. God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, Half-Life 2. Forget what else. Oh, Gran Turismo 4.
Metal Gear Solid 1 is
good
98.
years.
My mistake.
Wait, when was Metal Gear Solid 3? Was that 2004 as well?
Oh, let me change the 1 to a 3. Enter November 17th, 2004.
I don't know. 2004, I think, should be pretty high up there.
I mean, it should, but I think the big thing about this year that kind of separates it from the rest, if we're kind of looking at PlayStation alone right now and kind of ignoring everything else for now, and even ignoring VR for now.
Resident Evil 4 as well in 2004. I forgot that. Sorry.
I mean, we have the first half of the year was just absolutely mind-boggling in terms of releases, where I can understand and respect the fact that you didn't play Persona, Nier, or Neo, and may not have, too many opinions on them except for what you're hearing from people like me who did play them and absolutely love them. But all those games did come out. Horizon, in just a span of a couple months, and I think just the fact that we have trouble. I had a little bit of trouble narrowing down my game of the year between something like Horizon and Nier and Neo. Persona I really didn't play too much of. Unfortunately, it's in the backlog. It was kind of what elevates this year as a whole, because this year, as in general, also had a little something for everyone. Between
Yeah, that I agree with completely.
Horizon, you had, open world, not exactly new, but, a nice fresh take on the open world genre with robot dinosaurs and a bow and post-apocalyptic type of thing. You had your JRPGs with Persona, and Nier is kind of more action RPG, but still very Japanese. Um, Neo had that Bloodborne, Dark Souls-esque feel to it that was a little different taste also with it being um, Japanese feudal Japan. GT Sport, something for racing fans. You had the
Yeah.
RPG for Americans in South Park that came out later in the year. Assassin's Creed Origins came out, which totally revamped the series and turned it more into a action RPG versus an action game of yore.
Wolfenstein 2, Prey,
First person. Yep.
Evil Within 2. There are a lot of good games this year, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to remember them all. Is another problem.
I mean, I think we've named most of them other than like Hellblade and What Remains of Edith Finch, which you guys didn't play. I would remember those just as they were great, but
Yeah, a lot of fighting games came out this year. Like all of
Tekken
them.
and Injustice.
Injustice and Marvel.
not
Yeah.
Everything
Street
but
Fighter
Street
5
Fighter.
though.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything but Street Fighter 5 came out.
Well, and
And then
UFC is coming out like next year, but I don't know. It doesn't even really count. This game's kind of suck.
let's not forget all the remakes and remasters that came out this year, like we were talking about
Wipeout.
Crash Bandicoot, Wipeout, sure, Kingdom Hearts.
Final
I said
Fantasy
Crash.
12 HD.
Final- Yep.
The Kingdom Hearts had 2 collections come out this year.
Well, they had
Or did the other one come out in December? I don't remember.
well, the final chapter prologue 2.8, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck they're calling it these days, had like a 3DS remake plus something new. Plus,
Uh,
I'm not
Yeah,
counting it.
had-
It's
it
a little
had-
different.
It had 1.5 games instead of 2 games. The game that was original was really short.
Yeah. So I'm not counting it.
Plus, game of the all-time Deformers.
Yep, and that was a major victory for Ready at Dawn. They took their company in a completely new direction. It was very brave of them. That's what we say when people try something. It's brave.
Uncharted Lost Legacy as well.
Yeah.
See, and that was
great
them
game.
not doing anything new, just rehashing the same old garbage.
And among all these things, all we're focusing right now is PlayStation. I mean, well, unfortunately, Xbox didn't do anything. The only game they
Yeah.
had come out that was
Forza
exclusive was
7 and it
Cuphead,
sucked. Oh, Cuphead too.
Yeah,
which was pretty good.
Yeah, that was on PC too. Yeah, like I might buy that on Steam. I love games like that.
Pretty good. But then jumping over to the PC space, you had, the flavor of the month, but it turned into a huge sensation in PUBG.
Oh yeah. That's what PC had. That was their year.
And yeah, and I mean it's been the biggest PC thing in a while. It seems like overthrowing Dota and
League.
whatever else is on the Steam charts these days. I don't know how that shit works.
Well, that's good.
And
'Cause,
then
I mean, that's a game I could actually play. I can't stand that other shit. But now it's like they got a new like huge PC game. It's this stupid game where you use like a sledgehammer to climb your way up a mountain or some dumb shit like that. I don't. You guys haven't heard about that?
What?
yes,
It's all I keep hearing about from the PC people. It's like, it's another goofy game that they're like all excited about because they got nothing to play on PC. I mean, they get nothing for new releases. I mean, PUBG's like the first thing in a while.
Yeah.
but it's a hell of a thing. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I mean, it's really
Fortnite is pretty huge too, though. Like, it's kind of funny how like much of their thunder has been stolen by Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it's because
Well,
it's
they
a
made an
much
Xbox
simpler,
exclusive, and then they said, "Well, we'll take PS4, which has way more people."
much better performing, much simpler, easier to get into, free game. So it's like naturally, they've stolen a ton of thunder from PUBG. Like, I mean, it's like I'm sure PUBG is still going to be huge on PC and stuff, but yeah, it's like on PS4, I think they're always going to like have direct competition in Fortnite. If not, like, I mean, Fortnite had so many players to start out with that it's like I wouldn't be surprised if Fortnite ends up having more players playing it once PUBG finally comes out on PS4, whenever that happens.
If it does, I mean, it only technically just came out on PC officially.
Oh yeah, that's right, 1.0.
Yep.
That's funny.
Now, like we were kind of discussing a little bit earlier, as someone who's now an adopter of VR, from where I'm sitting, it seems to have not floundered, but it's not really going anywhere too much in the PC space.
Yeah, that's what I keep
But
hearing. That like those VR headsets have not sold super well. And I think as far as PC goes, VR is always going to have a place with the racing sim market because I mean they're like that market like buys like motion sim rigs and like there's more and more companies sprouting up creating sim racing hardware like practically every month. So it's like I think VR will never die as long as there are still sim racing nerds like me on PC. Although I don't really play that much on PC because it's like the best PC sim is on console now, Assetto Corsa. So it's like I don't need to, but it's always going to have a place there. But like yeah, it's like it's kind of weird because it's a different story on console with PSVR because I mean like even at launch I thought the price was a little ridiculous, $400 just for the headset, then $500 for like the bundle or whatever. Like thought that was a little too high and there wouldn't be a whole lot of adopters. But I guess there was enough for games to still be getting made and stuff. And now with all the Black Friday sales, I really think that like the VR is really going to go somewhere. It's not going to end up like the Move controllers or 3D thing. I don't think it's going to be a fad just because it's only going to get better from here. Like this is a first attempt by Sony and it's already pretty amazing and it's a very easy solution for the console gamer, which is really I mean most gamers are console gamers like I don't know like and I think it's a big difference, especially like the price point is just so much better. Like I think that's why VR has been more successful on console. And it's great for me because, I just got one. And I love the thing, and I'll be happy to see more games. Like, I'm already pretty satisfied. I mean, it is a year after the thing launched, so. But even at launch, I might have been pretty satisfied with what was on offer. Like, but it's just got much better over the past year, and it's only getting better going forward, too.
plus, you have games that are getting VRified, like
Skyrim.
Well, there's Skyrim, but what was it during PlayStation Experience? You had Wipeout HD is getting a
It's
VR
gonna be
update.
crazy.
So
Can't wait.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there are going to be more racing games for PS4 that get that VR update. Or
Yeah, I hope
other games
so.
other games that kind of fit the bill of them actually being able to work on VR. Maybe they'll get more updates as well.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Like, cause I mean, that's like one thing that's been discouraging so far is like games that probably should have VR updates, like racing games, don't. And also the way VR is implemented in GT Sport is also a little discouraging. It seems like it's hard to put more than like a good amount of opponents on a track at one time because like one of the only full-fledged VR titles for racing is Dirt Rally, but that's a rally racing game, so there's very few times where you're going to have more than one car on a track. Typically, it's just yourself driving off-road. And there is the rallycross stuff, but those tracks are much smaller, so I think that's why they can maybe hack it. But, like, GT Sport...
What about Drive Club?
One opponent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Drive Club, you do have a full, like, a grid of opponents, but the graphics were heavily dialed back to make that happen. And it's not bad. Like it's still like looks like Drive Club sort of, but it's like the resolution is lower than GT. Like it graphically, it looks nowhere near as good as GT Sport. But GT
Hmm.
Sport has the ridiculously limited 1v1 races, and the person you're racing against, the AI is completely useless. I mean, your grandmother could beat this dude in a race, this AI. And no time trial mode. Like, I gotta think they're gonna patch that though, because there's no reason not to have a time trial mode. And other than that, like, it is really one of the most impressive things in VR. But it's just like it seems so phoned in. It's not even funny. And it's like, I know some of that might be hardware limitations. Like I said, with the cars, like it seems like that not a whole, other than Drive Club VR, there's not really racing games that have like a bunch of AI opponents in it. Like I mentioned with Dirt Rally, and also Dirt 4. That's a game that it's using the same engine as Dirt Rally. Really should have had a VR patch, never got one, and I gotta think that it's because of the opponents. Like it's because they would have had to downgrade the graphics. Because Dirt 4 isn't a real rally racing game. You actually it's like rally racing, but you're going against other opponents, which doesn't happen in real rally racing except for Rallycross. So, but it's like I gotta think they took it out because of that. And it's a shame because a lot of these racing games, because most of them run 60 frame per second, they could make it work. I gotta think, but they'd probably have to downgrade the graphics so much that it would be below their standards. Because that's what Assetto Corsa's developer actually said. Is like they thought about it, but it's like it would be below the standards that they want to keep. On and so that's basically their excuse. But hopefully, the financial benefit will outweigh their own personal pride. Because I mean, there's very few things I'd want more in VR than Assetto Corsa at this time, especially if it's like the full thing. But yeah, 2017 has been a great year for VR. I think got that full-fledged AAA monumental game like Skyrim. I mean, that's a big deal.
As long as you use VR on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, instead
Well, it's been
of Oculus, is it
instead of
not on Oculus or whatever? Or
I'm sure it's on PC, but I'm like we said earlier, it doesn't seem to be growing like it is on PlayStation, I just don't really hear much about
yeah,
Oculus or Vive or whatever else is out there. I think those are the only real two big ones outside
yeah.
of
There's
PSVR.
some smaller ones, but yeah, no, those are the main ones. And if even they're having a little bit of trouble succeeding, I think part of the problem is that they have their market kind of split up because there are certain games that only work with the Vive. Other games have exclusivity with the Oculus, and so there's some infighting there. And I feel like that they're both losing out because of that. Um, Especially because like there's no reason for a game to be Oculus exclusive because the Oculus comes with an Xbox controller. There's no like movement controllers that I know of. The Vive does have that, so I understand like there could be some games that would only work on the Vive because you need those movement controllers. I mean, they're like the PlayStation Move except way better. So it's like that I could get, but the Oculus thing, that's just like a paid deal, and it's like I feel like it's hurting the whole VR market on PC because of that. Although I am jealous, they're getting Fallout 4 in VR, which is awesome. I wish they could somehow make that work on PS4, but I'm guessing that the frame rate would be a little hard to get, since all VR games pretty much have to be 60 to avoid making people upchuck. Most people, I feel like I could handle it, but yeah, I bet most people wouldn't be able to. Plus, it does mess up the head tracking, I'm sure, and that's like one of the key differences with PlayStation VR is the head tracking is just so on point that it's like without it, I think it would like kind of break the experience a little. So that's like one thing they've nailed and why it works so far, and it's only the beginning. It's only going to get better. But
I,
Switch.
I
That's been a great success story for 2017.
Yeah, yeah. I am the resident Switch owner that I will never that I never shut up about. So I will readily admit that going into it, I was still a little wary about it. I mean, I was excited enough to about the prospect of being able to take it anywhere, even though I assumed I wouldn't really take it anywhere. But just being able to play Zelda in the best way imaginable, even though the Wii U version isn't really that much worse. I definitely went into it with a little bit of like I said, hesitation and wariness. But I figured I honestly really believed in it enough to buy it day one. And yeah, I don't regret buying a Switch day one in the slightest bit. Between Zelda being just absolutely incredible and me being able to literally take it upstairs into the bedroom if I wanted to, and where with the Wii U tablet it would kind of get weird and lose connection because I was too far away from the Wii U console. That was always a pain in the ass. With the Switch, it's the console itself, so I don't have to worry about that. It feels good in my hands being able to take it with me to families for holidays and stuff like that, which I've done multiple times this year. Has been fantastic. All the games that have come out, the first party stuff, like even Mario Kart being a port of a Wii U game is great. I'm excited to play Bayonetta 1 and 2 again. Bayonetta 1 again, I never played Bayonetta 2 because I barely played any Wii U games, honestly, even though I had the thing. But even games like Splatoon that I wasn't super interested on Wii U, I wanted to give a chance and I loved. Mario was great, Zelda's Game of the Year.
Got Skyrim, too.
Skyrim is actually pretty excellent on Switch. I've played most of it on handheld, because I've played it multiple times on a console on my TV, so it's not that big of a deal. But being able to play it, when I'm putting my kid down to nap or in bed before I go to sleep has been fantastic and has really breathed new life into the game for me. Just being able to play it whenever I want like that. And most of all, just all the indies and stuff like that, as weird as it might sound. SteamWorld Dig 2 I absolutely loved. There are a lot of games like it that I was thinking about, should I get it on PS4 or should I get it on Switch? And I ended up getting on Switch for just the mobility and portability of it versus being stuck to the couch basically, especially since despite the fact that I can remote play on my Vita, I've discussed multiple times that the Vita just doesn't feel right in my hand anymore compared to a Switch. So I've kind of moved on from my Vita.
Even before, like, you mainly would do it when you're at home, right? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but, like, to me, it always feels kind of silly to do remote play when I got a perfectly good PS4 and TV sitting there.
Well, sometimes you want to just kind of lay in bed and wind down and do it.
Yeah,
Wind down and play a game.
That's never been the case for me.
Well, let's take a vote.
Because I struggle.
Let's raise our hands.
I struggle to see the Vita screen. It's like it makes the game harder for me to play.
Yeah, sometimes for me too. But I mean, the Switch screen isn't drastically bigger, but it's big enough for me to.
Yeah, it's a big enough difference where it's like because my phone has a 6-inch screen, which is 0.2 inches smaller diagonally than the Switch screen, and that is already a huge improvement over the size of the Vita screen for me. It's just a shame that cell phones have no games on them. But
right.
So I can see it with the Switch, but yeah, Vita for me, the remote play. What makes remote play so cool is that you can do it from anywhere, and that's the same story with Switch. So similar to you, like I would probably choose between PS4 and Switch. I would probably get the game on Switch too. I mean, depending, like there's maybe some like Wolfenstein 2 might have been the rare example that I wouldn't, but I would still probably get it on Switch at some point. Like Resident Evil, because the other thing and why I got Resident Evil Revelations 2 on Vita instead of PS4 was because, like the Vita needs every game it can get. Like you always want a new game for your console if it doesn't have a ton of them. And I feel like that's the case for Switch, at least for now. So it's like, yeah, it's a good thing. Like you add one more to your Switch library, while the PS4 library, you have plenty of games on PS4. So that's how I kind of look at it too. Not only the portability, but also just like beefing up your library of games on the Switch. I think that's another thing that helps too.
Yep. I mean, it also helps that, especially this year, because of the Switch, it hasn't been an obsession for a couple of years now, but my trophy hunting has kind of diminished significantly. I mean, I'll get first party, I'll definitely get games on PlayStation for the trophies, and I'll definitely get, especially now that I have an Xbox, if I have a choice between the Xbox and the PlayStation, of course I'm going to get a game on PlayStation, because I just don't care about achievements.
Yeah.
I care much more about trophies. But as an example, SteamWorld Dig 2, I bought that a couple months ago. I had the choice between Switch and PS4, and I got it on Switch, and it was a no-brainer. Stardew Valley, I triple dipped into Switch to be able to play it portably, because at the time there was no Vita, the Stardew Valley has been confirmed for Vita since then, but still it was up in the ether at that point, and just
Yeah, that's surprising, by the way.
Yeah. Wolfenstein 2, I don't really care too much about. I think it's cool that Switch owners who, for some reason, don't have an Xbox or a PC or a PS4 that really want to play it can. But, Switch is the perfect, complementary console, I think.
Yeah.
Which is... Because a game like Wolfenstein, of course I'm going to play it on PS4, but then I have Nintendo and my Switch to go to for everything else, all Nintendo stuff. And even then, like I was saying, some things I would still prefer to play on Switch. Also most recently I bought The Mummy Demastered. I haven't played it yet, but despite it being on PS4 too, I don't know. I just wanted the portability of it and being able to play it anywhere, so I got it on Switch. Plus it was $6 cheaper.
No way. Really?
Yeah, it's one of those rare, decent Nintendo sales, even though Nintendo never puts their own games up for sale, except for $4 off a $60 game.
I never thought that would happen, a game that would be cheaper on Switch than PS4.
Yeah, it's one of those eShop deals that's like a holiday thing like PlayStation is doing, but they have a bunch of indie stuff and smaller games on sale, and one of them is The Mummy Demastered, which is a Metroidvania that I've been wanting to play. I've been hearing good things, and I got it on Switch because I've been hearing those good things.
Well, speaking of a Metroidvania, there's a game on sale this week, and the sale is called The Chronicles of Teddy, and then something else. And it's $4. And if you want yet another Metroidvania to throw in your backlog, that's a good one.
Okay. I've always heard of that and never really acted on it because, honestly, the name is kind of weird.
Yeah, the name is super weird. Agree. But I took a chance with it on PS Now, and I enjoyed what I played of it so far.
Okay. I'll look out for it and see what I can do.
Yeah.
But
is it better than Apotheon?
I don't know what Apotheon is, so personally, I think it's way better.
That was that free PS Plus game. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's it didn't pull me in like Guacamelee, so I didn't play it really. Played a little. I don't know.
Yep.
That's way off subject. So let's get back on track. But 2017 wasn't all good. EA fucking up. That's their business, or man, the worst of all, though, I would have to say, PlayStation Lifestyle, shout out to that website. They put out their, nominations for a bunch of stuff, and one of them was Biggest Disappointments, and to me, the number one of them all, and 3 of the 5 were EA, by the way, was Visceral closing. To me, that's horrible. Not only just because of the loss of Star Wars, just because it's just not right. They were such a good developer. They got great new talent in Jade Raymond and Amy Hennig, and I'm sure we're really onto something, despite what EA may have wanted. I don't know. I don't know what caused that closure, but it just sucks because, I mean, they already screwed up the Dead Space series, which really should have been revived. I mean, they gave a chance with Mirror's Edge. Like, why wouldn't they give Dead Space another chance? Because there's so many gamers that want that. Like, Dead Space is a super popular series and super highly regarded series that it's just like, it pisses me off that EA would close them. And it's like everyone they get their hands on, Respawn, they kill. So it's like that's probably gonna happen to Respawn too. It's I hope not, but it's like judging by how Titanfall 2 sold because of when EA decided to release it, I gotta think that they're gonna be on the bubble soon enough, and it's just like that's what EA is good at, screwing up and killing studios that were ridiculously talented.
Hmm. They're a studio killer, all right. Yeah, it was a bad, definitely a bad year to be an EA fan, if those even exist anymore. I mean, it started out very early on in the year with Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
While I'm not of the camp of people who hate the game for some reason, I played it and I actually thought it was okay. It was pretty good. It had its ups and its downs, but it definitely didn't deserve the amount of shit that it got. But at the same time, if you read some of the behind the scenes stuff that I'm pretty sure Kotaku did an article about it, then they reported on some of the behind the scenes stuff that just kind of left that studio dry a little bit. So a lot of the stuff they just didn't have much control over at the end of the day, and that contributed to the way that game turned out. And also shout out to Kotaku about a piece they did about Visceral closing down, which was a really great read. And again, EA basically left them out to dry completely, despite the fact that they were struggling and thought they were going to get help, but ultimately didn't get help from studios that were all shifted over to Battlefront 2 to make that game better. LOL.
That was another huge screw up by EA.
Oh,
Which is ridiculous because, I rented it and actually bought it used not too long ago. It was an okay game. The multiplayer, when you remove the microtransaction bullshit and the terrible progression, the multiplayer to play is pretty fun. The single player is quite a bit of fun. The arcade stuff is fun. But just, it's dripping with the desire to spend money on it because you do things so slowly. So everyone who didn't get the deluxe edition was at an immediate disadvantage. And that just kind of goes, and that permeated the multiplayer, and it's just really bad. So, fuck EA in the ass for everything wrong with Battlefront 2 and that microtransaction shit. They deserve everything they got for that crap.
Yep.
But the game itself is good, which is unfortunate. They ruined it.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous because it's like they're so focused on multiplayer, yet that was what they ruined with this game. The only value this game really has is with the single player because of how badly they ruined it with the microtransactions. And it's I don't know, because they took them away, right? So I don't know how much has been fixed after they removed them, but either way, it's the part that they hurt the most was the part that they're really trying to push these days because I think that's all that matters. Unlike Bethesda, who is that's another great thing about 2017 is Bethesda kind of taking this stance, that we're going to stick to single player games. We're not going to be like some of the other companies that are, just trying to do every multiplayer trendy piece of crap that comes out. And I love it. It's because it speaks to me as a gamer directly, and it's I've been happy with Bethesda the past couple of years because they've been putting out good games, and they haven't stopped, and it's like they're much like Sony. They realized that it's like you can make money by putting out good games. It doesn't just have to be microtransactions and multiplayer bullshit. It can be good single player games because there's such a huge market for that, and it's like that's what I like to see. And EA's just like a different. They're going for something else, and they're paying for it now because they
Yeah,
really got it wrong on this one.
they've been getting it wrong all year, it seems.
Yeah, and last year, I mean, including Titanfall, like that was, I don't know, arguably their best game last year. I mean, I really love Mirror's Catalyst, but 90% of people would put Titanfall 2 better. I mean, was that their best game last year? And they sandwiched it in like the worst possible time of the year, and it didn't sell anywhere near as much as it deserved.
Yeah, no, they absolutely left it out to die between their own game in
Call of Duty.
Battlefield and then, yeah, their competition in Call of Duty. It was literally Battlefield one week, Titanfall the next week, Call of Duty the next week.
Hmm.
They absolutely left it out to die, and we discussed that last year. I think we discussed it when it was announced at EA last year, or at E3 last year,
Yeah,
that it was ridiculous.
I'm sure we made fun of that, and like that was before we knew how good the single player would be of Titanfall 2. So it's like that's another
Yeah.
thing. Um, it's like they really screwed themselves because the people who played that single player know it's amazing and one of the best shooters in years as far as the single player goes. I didn't like the multiplayer, but yeah, EA just keeps shooting itself in the foot, and it's good because maybe they'll actually learn for once. Although I'm just worried that they'll double down and become more like Activision, that just wants to put out one big game a year and a bunch of in between stuff that's really just like licensed. And it's like I'd rather EA become more like Bethesda and Ubisoft and how they used to be than to be minus the always online thing, and how they just be like when they were at their best, like because there were some years where they put out some great stuff, and it just seems like that's such a long time ago. And I don't know. So that's one negative part about 2017, which otherwise is one of the best years in ever for gaming.
Yep. The other negative, I think, is Microsoft and Xbox.
Yeah,
It-
they put out how many exclusives?
I think they canceled more and delayed more exclusives than they put out.
Well, it's like there's Cuphead, but that was a PC game too, so it's not a real exclusive. And then Forza 7. And when did they cancel that?
Scalebound.
Scalebound, that's right. And wait, they didn't cancel Crackdown 2, but they delayed it.
Yep, they've delayed it.
So yeah, they did actually miss more exclusive games in 2017 than they actually put out. The only real exclusive they put out was Forza 7, I believe. Everything else is just a console exclusive that also can play it on PC. Although even Forza 7 can also be on PC, so I don't know. Yeah, I guess it doesn't even matter either way because now all their exclusives are on PC, so that's no longer a point of distinction. Sometimes I forget that.
Yep. And they put out their most powerful console ever in the Xbox One X, which, I mean, I really can't. I don't think I've seen any sales numbers for it. They haven't released anything like that.
They're probably not great. Like, I mean, from everything I hear is that it is a great console. Like, it does a great job with backwards compatible games. They're like, a bunch of games that are getting enhancements that they do a really good job on. But yeah, it's like as far as for their business, I don't think that it's the greatest thing because I don't think it's sold very much at all.
Yeah, I mean, just because they haven't put out sales numbers doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't think PlayStation reported on PS4 Pro specific sales figures ever.
They haven't. No
Um,
shit. I thought
I don't.
didn't they say like they sold 1 million at some point? I could be wrong. I might be thinking of VR.
I think that's VR.
Man, I hope they've sold some because like I know you guys don't like it, but I like the idea of a mid-gen console, especially the way they've done it, where it's like there's no exclusive games. It has pretty much zero, unless like you can give me some legitimate evidence to say otherwise. I've seen zero effect on the PS4 versions of games because of the existence of PS4 Pro. Um, like, and especially with the way the last generation went, where like it got very long in the tooth, and it seems like that's what they're planning on doing with this generation as well, because it's been so successful and so many people have PS4s. And I get it, because like it does make sense for developers to want to focus on a console that a ton of people have and a ton of people are like using every day, instead of putting their hopes on a new console that like there will be early adopters, but it might be a couple years before it really catches on. Because even PS4, I mean it sold like crazy at the beginning, but it was still, compared to what it's at now, nothing. You know what I mean? So I get it, but yeah, no, I personally like the whole half-gen consoles. But if they're not successful sales-wise, it might be the last we'll see of them. Or probably will. I mean, I don't think they're going to go back to the old expansion pack type of thing, like N64. I don't even think they'd like that would be helpful, because all that thing did was give some extra RAM to the N64. And typically, they put plenty of RAM in these consoles now, so it's like, I don't know what they could do as far as that, but
Well, again, that
if
that
they don't
almost.
sell, there's no point to make them.
Well, the N64 expansion pack, as cool as it was also a pain in the ass because you
Yeah,
needed it for certain games.
I agree.
I mean, granted, they gave it away with Donkey Kong, one of the first games that you needed it for, but still, if you wanted to play Donkey Kong, you needed the expansion pack. If you wanted to play Think Perfect Dark, you needed the expansion
You
pack.
did, yeah.
Majora's Mask, you needed the expansion pack. I think I'm not actually sure about Majora's
did?
Mask, but
Hmm.
a lot of the later games you kind of needed the expansion pack for,
Yep.
and that definitely alienated the N64 crowd a little bit.
Yep. And I mean that's like
So,
a difference between these consoles, the PS4 Pro and Xbox, is that that's not the case. There are no games that won't work without them. You know what I mean? Like, so that's one good thing about them compared to the expansion pack. Because yeah, I remember I rented Perfect Dark before I had a expansion pass, and all that was available was like the multiplayer bot mode. You couldn't do the single player, and I was like, well, this is kind of whack, but this game is still fun. But it's like then luckily a friend gave me one, and like I was able to finally play the Perfect Dark single player, which was fun. But yeah, so I think they went about that the wrong way. These mid-gen consoles, I think they've done everything they can to make it as consumer friendly as possible, and so that's why I personally don't have a problem with it. I know you guys don't like them, although I don't know if I've heard your opinion on it, Jordy.
Um, sorry, which game exactly? Where?
No, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X.
Oh, fuck them. I don't care about them. Like, I mean, if you want to get a few games
Mm-hmm.
in 4K or whatever, I mean, that's fine. I don't hate its existence.
Okay.
I'm personally not going to buy one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm certainly not going to buy an Xbox One X. Terrible name. Uh, but I mean, like if one fell into my lap, like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'll never use this. Absolutely, it would replace the PlayStation I have, but I'm not going to buy the same system twice to play a few games
Yeah.
with like high dynamic range. That doesn't matter to me.
Well, actually, HDR is supported on the Xbox One S and the regular PS4, so
That
it's
still
mainly
has
just
not
for
convinced me to go out and buy one.
yeah. Well, it's mainly just the the better graphics and stuff that you get for games and stuff. So like that's really all it does, and I see no real negative impact for people that are like you that just want to stick with your regular PS4. So that's why I'm
Oh,
okay
yeah.
with them. And I mean, I am kind of a graphics whore a little bit, so I do like the fact that they exist, because it's like if I do get a 4K TV and My PS4 current one breaks, I'm absolutely getting a Pro. Or it's like if I do get a 4K TV and have some extra money, I'll get a Pro too, just so I can have the most out of my TV and the best versions possible of the games. But as far as the Xbox One X is like, yeah, I'm sure it's a great console and stuff, but not having those exclusives is a real problem in my opinion. So that's why I don't see it selling too well.
No.
However, the positive points I have for Microsoft and what they're doing, as weird as this sounds compared to PlayStation and Sony and Nintendo, is they're kind of embracing their past, as limited and small as it is. With they're really going pretty big on backwards compatibility, and
Yeah, they've done a great job with it.
yeah, it's going a step beyond just just making games backwards compatible. I mean, you have the benefit of cloud saving. So, an old Fable 2 cloud save that I had in my 360 that I played at my friend's house from 7, 8 years, I don't even remember how many years ago, was still in the cloud, and I just downloaded it even though I started over. That sort of thing is nice. The fact that games, for the most part, run and look a little better is nice. The fact that they're giving away games on top of new games is nice. Like if you bought Fallout 4 on Xbox, you got Fallout 3.
Yep.
Which is neat. Red Dead Redemption runs better on Xbox One than it did on 360, which is good. You could play you should be playing all the Halos in the Master Chief Collection, but if you didn't want to for some reason, they're all available backwards compatible. The 360 versions.
See, I kind of wish they didn't do that, because for people's own good, they should be forced to play the Master Chief Collection, really.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just so silly. Like, if you had an Xbox One and you're not playing the Master Chief Collection, you're playing you need to be told what to do at that point.
Yeah, like if you're like when you're playing the Master Chief Collection, which I have played, like and then you like accidentally like sneeze and hit the button to change the graphics back. You're just like, oh no, I made a terrible mistake.
Yep. But
it's hard to go back. Like I thought I would care about backwards compatibility more, but then I realized like I still have my PS3 close by and I don't touch it.
You do PlayStation Now a lot too.
Not a lot, but what I've used the PS Now to play games that like I haven't played before, not like games that I have. I'm like, well, I still want to play. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a game like Uncharted 1. I really want to play that on my PS4. Like I don't have that.
You wouldn't want to because you got the collection now. So
yeah, I know that was a bad example, but like what's like a game that? Hold on, like Eternal Sonata that came out in like 2007. Which of course that's even on PS Now. But like it's very rare. I'm like, I really want to play this game from 10 years ago on the current system, even though I have the old system still. I know some people sell their old systems, but that's that's your choice with PlayStation. But I don't ever effing play the old games anymore.
Well, like
it doesn't happen.
If PS4 had backwards compatibility and we could play Resistance 1, 2, and 3, I would absolutely do it on PS4. I'd be happy to do it as well. But yeah, no, I totally get you. And like, ideally, like I mean, games get remastered and stuff. Like I know some people hate that too. But Resistance is a perfect example of a game series that I think should be remastered. But yeah, no, it's definitely a really cool feature, and I think that Xbox has implemented backwards compatibility better than Sony has implemented the PS2 emulator on PS4. Because really, they're charging $15 for trophy support, and to be able to play those games. While the backwards compatibility, I mean, it's free if you still have the disc. Not to mention they give games away for free every month that are backwards compatible. They also do a lot of sales. I mean, they've done a much better job implementing that backwards compatibility than Sony has with the PS2, which is a shame. Because also, I mean, even though they're charging an arm and a leg for those PS2 emulator games, they're not doing very many at all. Like, there's a very small selection. There's still a ton that have been excluded. So it's just kind of funny. That's one way that Xbox has been kicking Sony's ass the past year.
Well,
and really the year before, I think.
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that they do the backwards compatibility better. I'm just saying the backwards compatibility word.
It's not as valuable. Yeah, I hear you.
It is not as valuable as people on the internet claim it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Like you're not backwards compatibility hoping to backwards compatible games that often. It's just not happening. Like
I for the most part agree, and I think backwards compatibility is totally. It's really not that big of a deal. I think people want it
Yeah.
more so because a
just
couple
for it to
consoles,
exist. Yeah.
plus a couple consoles used to do it, so they just want it now, even though they'll never play the games.
Yep.
With that said, since getting my Xbox One X or S, the game that I've played the most and the game that I bought at the same time, hilariously enough, was Fable Anniversary, which was a remaster of the original Fable, and that's a 360 game. And you better fucking believe that I got Knights of the Old Republic, because that is an Xbox original game.
Hmm.
Not having to
Yeah.
play that on PC is a godsend.
Is it really though? Because I mean, I gotta imagine it's better on PC, right? I don't know. Maybe
It
not, because
is,
like that game's so old. That was back when the difference in graphics between console and PC was not that big.
to be perfectly honest with you, the biggest problem I have is I don't know where my current copy of Knights of the Republic exists anymore. It's not currently downloaded on my computer, and I think it. I bought it on like D2D drive 15, 20 years ago or something like that. I bought it somewhere, and then it was bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold the company several times, so it's somewhere now. I don't know where. The point is, I have it again, and it's on a console, and I don't have to worry about it anymore, which is nice. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm still crossing my fingers that Tales of Vesperia ends up backwards compatible. I'm a little shocked, honestly, that it hasn't. And there are a couple of Xbox 360 games that I missed that I'm excited I will get to play, like Lost Odyssey, which is one of the few JRPGs that is actually well loved by Xbox fans for some oddly enough. Not saying that the game isn't good, but just that despite anything, I think it's just one of the really few games that was good that actually came out of Japan for 360. But I've heard good things, so I'm excited to play it. But yeah, that's the one thing that's like the niche they're carving themselves out right now, which again I find weird considering Sony and Nintendo have massive backlogs of games and,
Mm-hmm.
real history. Xbox doesn't. They have Halo and a couple of games here and there, and they bought Rare, so but they bought some history, but that's about it.
I think it's because they have to. Because I mean, like we mentioned with the exclusives, they are pretty much not there for Xbox, so they have to
Yeah,
put out something to keep gamers happy, other than just the multi-platform stuff. And the backwards compatibility is kind of the closest thing to it.
yeah. Although I am excited, one of my most anticipated games of next year is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
One of my anticipated games for next year is it's that like pinball RPG game. I think it comes out in January, and they just released it for pre-order on Amazon. It's called like something like Yuko's Adventure thing. Let me look up the actual name of it. I'm so excited for it. I don't know its name. Yoku's Island Express. That's what it is,
Oh,
and I'm looking forward to that. God, why do you guys have no interest in weird games like me? Where's the
Because they're
disconnect
boring.
here?
Um,
No, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be the surprise hit of the year.
maybe. Might even surpass Deformers.
Oh, I'm sure it'll surpass Deformers. No,
weird.
no, that game's gonna be a lot better received than you think it is. Just because I said pinball, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are well received. that are lesser known. But
Speaking of which, Hitman is available. The first like 2 episodes for free.
I went to
that's
get
cool.
that in the store yesterday, and like I don't know, I did something wrong. Like I couldn't. It was like unavailable for me.
The holiday
Yeah,
something. Huh.
like maybe it was just weird for the moment.
Yeah. And don't forget the Monster Hunter beta is tomorrow.
Oh
The
yeah, I
next
did
one.
download it.
I
I'm ready to play it this
I
time.
don't even need another one, to be honest. Like,
Yeah. The previous one works.
yeah. Um, I mean, like, are they gonna add a lot more, or?
I think it's the same thing, just before it was PlayStation Plus exclusive, and now
Oh,
it's PlayStation and I think Xbox
oh, okay.
can
Because I
download
was
and play it.
wondering, because it's like they're calling this one the open beta, but it's like I was able to just download that last one. Or I didn't realize that that was what was going on. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
no, I played enough. Like, I already know that I could definitely get that game at some point. So yeah, I'm sold.
I'm I'm gonna give it another shot and see if I want to buy it day one, since my January is quite bare now.
Yeah, yeah.
Between
It
Far
was
Cry and
that.
Ni no Kuni getting delayed.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh wait, Far Cry got delayed too.
Yep.
Oh shit, because that was supposed to be the end of February, right? Or
It was also, I believe it was also in January.
oh, okay.
Earlier January, mid to early January.
Yeah, because I think they delayed it to like March or something, right? Or close
Yep.
to it. And I remember thinking that it's like I hope, like if God of War comes out near it, I probably won't get it. But if nothing comes out near it, then I might. Um, but yeah, you were thinking of Monster Hunter or Forza Horizon 3, right?
Yeah, basically, and I'm probably gonna go with Monster Hunter.
Cool.
I'll wait for Forza to get even cheaper one day, because
It should, yeah.
yeah, I played the demo and again, it just I want to give it a shot, but I don't think it's worth it for
Mhm.
less than or for more than like $10.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that you might not end up playing a ton. So yeah, I hear you. Like, there's a lot of games that are like that for me.
Yeah, and I've been weird about buying games recently. I've had the ability to buy several ones. I've been tempted for that Return to Arkham for $10, but just haven't. I'm trying to plow through some games, even though I barely played any this week, and work on my backlog now that my January is relatively empty.
Yeah, that's another thing that's on my backlog. I got that Arkham collection thing and tried a little bit. I just wanted to see what the graphics looked like, and I would like to replay them at some point. But yeah, no, man, I've just been overwhelmed with gaming lately just because of the VR stuff, all the
Mm.
racing game stuff. Plus, like, it's like my backlog has not been touched in a while because of all the stuff. It's yeah. Plus GT Sport, it's just been too much lately. So it's like I can't even think about getting games that are on sale. Like I forget what game you mentioned. Like, oh yeah, like Hitman's another one that like I can't even think about stuff like that at the moment just because so much friggin' games out right now that I can play. That yeah,
Yeah.
too much. It's first world problems.
Yeah, like November, I didn't play hardly any PS4. Like I couldn't find a game I really wanted to play. I just played Hearthstone all month. Then I really got back into it again this month. Like I played No Man's Sky. I'm really into Everybody's Golf now. Um, and while we were talking, I was researching. It does seem like 1997 was the best year of video games. Just by the way, it's it's a good one. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like the Final
I don't
Fantasies
know.
came out, GoldenEye, Mario
2004.
Kart 64, Symphony of the Night,
Okay,
uh,
that's pretty damn good.
uh, Final Fantasy Tactics, Star Fox 64. Um, yeah, the first Age of Empires, Tomb Raider 2, uh, the first Gran Turismo. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in
The one I've never played.
1997.
Yay!
Well, I don't think that this year was the best ever, But I really think this was one of the best.
I think it's a very personal thing, though. I mean, like everything, with gaming. Like, so you could say this year is your favorite. You could say 2012 was your favorite. I mean, and that was one of the more weaker years in recent memory. I mean, that was when Walking Dead season 1 won. Or although Journey, I think, did get a ton of Game of the Year awards too. But like, I mean, that was not a huge year for games. Um, but like, it's totally personal. Like, I think.
Yeah, 93 was also very good. A lot of big computer games came out. Like that was when Doom and Myst came out. Big year for PC.
Yeah.
93.
Like I said, 2004 though, that has to be. Although the funny thing is, my PS2
I didn't get that far. I don't know yet.
was not even hooked up in 2004. But just looking back on all the games I know that came out that year, yeah, that ranks high for me. Resident Evil 4, Half-Life 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Metal Gear Solid 3, GT4, ton of
RE4
stuff.
came out. Yeah, they did come out in 2004.
It sure
Resident
did.
Evil 4 was a fan-freaking-tastic game.
Yeah, to me it's one of the best games ever, and certainly the best in the Resident Evil series.
Yeah, it's fan-fucking-tastic.
Hell yeah. But I don't know. You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we've done a pretty good discussion about 2017.
Yeah, see, wait about 15 more seconds, and I'll tell you if 2004 is correct or not. It's not looking like 2004 was as great as you're claiming it was.
Hey, just on the games I mentioned.
Oh, hold on.
there.
There's the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, The Game. Is that part of it? Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, Siberia 2.
I think that just recently came out on Switch.
Like, didn't Siberia 3 just come out recently?
I think it did. Ooh,
Damn,
there's
so
an
they
Armored
had a
Core game that I
pretty-
had. I liked Armored Core.
pretty
2004
big
is
gap
getting a
there.
little better.
God
Star
of War
Wars
1,
Battlefront
right?
came out 2004.
Oh, R.I.P.
The
Rest
first
in peace, pandemic.
yeah.
When did Knights of the Old Republic come out?
Ooh. It's a great question.
Oh, 2004 had KOTOR 2.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if it had one,
I remember
that'd be another feather in 2004's cap.
I remember getting that on Xbox Original, whatever the fuck we want to call it these days.
Oh,
The first Far Cry came out in 2004.
Halo 2? 2004, maybe?
Is that 4 or 5? I think that might be 5.
I don't
How
think it's
about
5.
I hit Control
No,
F?
because 5... Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yep. That came out 2004,
Okay.
November 9th.
The reason I got an original Xbox.
Halo 2?
2?
Really? Oh.
I played Halo 1 on PC, as weird as that is for me to say.
So did I the first time.
I know.
Then I played the Anniversary Edition on 360, which is a lot better, to say the least.
I played the Anniversary
it's
Edition
official.
on Xbox
It's
One.
official. 2004 is not the best year of all time. It's not even a contender.
I disagree.
Oh, Catwoman.
Oof.
Catwoman, the movie, the game.
Hidden SpongeBob games
I'm
of the
sure
year.
if I had Google Chrome open, I could pick out plenty of shit games from 97 too, so
No, I checked. There weren't any.
bullshit. There are shit games every year.
I have been completely transparent. There was nothing bad.
Yeah, right.
No, Fable came out 2004.
Yep, 2004 wins. No, even that one's not my favorite year, but it's like I gotta think that's one of the best.
God, man, I could do this for the next 10 hours, just like go through the year and talk about games that came out. Man.
Damn, we should have done the podcast that way. Oh well, too late now.
Too late now. Just delete it. Delete it. Undo it from Twitch.
Or maybe
click the
part
back button.
2
Yeah.
at some point. I don't know.
Fight Club, the game, 2004. I can't imagine how bad
Masterpiece.
that game is. That
Masterpiece.
game has to be bad.
Tiger Woods 2004. That was a good one. That was the one I played the most, probably.
I think I played '06 or '07 the most. I think it was '06. Yeah, golf games are always surprisingly good. They're a good like party game to play with if you're just sitting around drinking.
Yep.
That's how it was 10 years ago.
I don't think
And
people drink anymore.
You're right.
not
Correct.
as much. I mean, that's why in 2004 my PS2 wasn't even hooked up. I was too busy drinking and going to high school.
Sounds like high school to me. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, 2004 is over. There weren't even many more like laughably dumb games. 2004, complete disappointment. It's official.
Nope.
Metal Gear Solid 3. It's in the disappointing category, unfortunately.
I mean, I say it wins just on Metal Gear Solid 3 and Half-Life 2 alone. Shit. But all right, we've covered it. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Adios. Number 101.
Let's hope that 2018 is better than them all, though.
Fingers crossed. We did have a good,
I think it can be.
There was a lot of good games came out this year. It was a goodie.
For me, there could be even more next year.
Especially Scalebound, Game of the Year. Oops.
Hopefully everything that is supposed to release next year actually does. Or at least the main stuff, you know. The PlayStation stuff.
Spider-Man's a maybe. Days Gone is a definite. God of War is a definite. Kingdom Hearts is a maybe.
I'd say that's the biggest maybe.
Yeah, that's the maybeest maybe of all maybes.
Mm-hmm. I do think that Spider-Man will come out next year.
I think
It might not, but I don't know. I just really believe it will. Because I thought that there was a rumor that said that that the release date was like in the summer or something. Could be wrong, but it is far enough out to where stuff could happen. It could get delayed a lot more than that, though. That's always a possibility these days.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on just Sony and how they release their games. Because
Yeah.
God of War is looking like a May-ish game.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Sony wanting to delay the release just so it wouldn't compete with one of the other ones. That I didn't even think about.
And I guess it depends on how far along Ghosts of Tsushima is and...
See,
Days
that
Gone.
I don't think that Ghosts will be out next year. I mean, it's in the realm of possibility just because Sucker Punch has been very quick with their releases. But I still am. They only just announced. I'm expecting it to be like 2019, early 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. That would leave Spider-Man, Days Gone, and God of War as the main 2018 exclusives.
Yeah.
With 2019, or first party at least, with 2019 being...
The Last of Us, hopefully, and...
Or second party, because Insomniac is not owned by Sony, but...
Death Stranding, if we're very, very lucky, 2019.
Yeah, I think we'll be surprised. I think Kojima is... I think it'll come out sooner than we think. I mean, when I first saw it and heard Kojima, I assumed it'd be like 2020 and PlayStation 5.
Me too, yeah.
Or something like that, but...
Because they didn't even decide on an engine for a while. Like, they put out those trailers, they still had not... It took them several months or almost a year before they found the engine they wanted.
Yeah.
But...
I think we might be surprised. I think we might get both it and Last of Us in 2019.
It's possible. I keep laughing and making fun of people who think that Last of Us Part 2 is coming out next year. And it's like, and it for good
fucking
reason,
way.
but at the same time, I'm kind of hoping that Naughty Dog completely embarrasses me by putting it out next year, but no way. No fucking way. Not happening.
Did you hold on. Brian, did you see on the site today where Tyler was giving you shit for saying
Yeah, I saw
Zelda was
that.
game of the year?
Who?
And it's like he has a point, like, picking Zelda as Game of the Year on a PlayStation site, but it's like you were just saying your personal one, not like saying what they should pick for their Game of the Year. I mean, yeah, he's just being a prick because you made fun of him a little bit after, or I forget what happened. I don't know. You said
Wait.
something about him.
He said because he keeps saying that he posts less because Tyler sucks dicks. Which is based on a true story.
I mean, it's like obviously they're not going to put Zelda as their Game of the Year, but it's like I think most people are, so it's hard to make fun of that.
Wait, who was talking shit though?
Tyler,
Tyler Treese.
Really?
you're
talks
our
shit to
number
me?
one fan.
Oh, he replied to someone else's comment that had replied to you.
Oh, I think I blocked him, so I don't even know. He doesn't think to me. I'm just tired of
Oh,
this.
yeah, he didn't reply to you, so yeah, he replied to someone else. But yeah, that's funny. Because he said something like, "You don't listen to things that he says." He said that Zelda is the best game on a PlayStation video game website on the internet. Serious business and all that.
Well, he's also right because Horizon is better, but everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm looking
I'm
forward to
joking.
2018 so I can
Most
buy.
people don't think that, so
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2017 or 18 to buy all the 2017 games for $5 to $10.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking forward to.
5 to 10. That's still low. Horizon is worth at least 15 to 20.
I don't care what it's worth to regular people. I care about what it's worth.
I mean, even to you.
Like, oh yeah, the Redbox sale you're telling me about. Most of the games that I wanted in that sale, I've already bought at those prices. Yeah, unfortunately they weren't any lower than they were before. Resident Evil 15 or 7 for $15 is okay, but like they had the gold edition on sale for 20, so it's still not okay.
I would say if you're, because you said you are considering VR,
Yeah,
don't play
I'm
it
gonna
till
get
then.
next to it, yeah. Yeah.
Don't play
I'm
it
not
till
going
then.
Yeah, if I didn't buy so much other shit this winter already, I would jump on that $200 GT Sport VR set, but I bought too much. I need to take it easy. Fat cat, shut up! You don't get fed yet.
I mean, hopefully they'll do another sale like that. I'm just a little concerned that they won't because they'll, then they'll have the new headset to sell, and like I kind of feel like the reason why that GT bundle is so good is because they're trying to get rid of the old style headsets that don't have the HDR pass through. But I'm sure you'll still be able to get one for, same price as this year.
Yeah.
Maybe not like the crazy bundle, but
Like, what all do you have to buy to make your VR set like be complete? I guess, like, 'cause I know it comes with like the headset, and you need a camera, and what other I know there's like several other peripherals you can get.
there are only a couple games that need the Move controllers. So I mean, really, all you need is the camera, the VR, and a $400 steering wheel. No, I'm kidding. No, DualShock 4 is supported in almost every game. I can
Cool! I did not know that.
I can check how many games it's not supported in real quick, but I know
what, tonight if you could just check
Brookhaven-
every game in your VR library and
Well,
put
I'm
it
looking
into
now.
a Google spreadsheet.
I'm looking now. Like, there's not many. Well, Rush of Blood does have DS4 support. Even it's not as good as using the Move controllers. Like, there's a lot of stuff like. But Brookhaven, you have to have the aim controller or the Move controller. Solus Project, you have to have the Move controllers. that doesn't even work with the aim controller. And that's about all I can think of at the moment, really. There might be some, like, actually no, maybe not. Yeah, there's real pretty much everything is supports the DualShock 4 at least, and like there will be some times where the Move controller is better, although it's been pretty rare. Like, 'cause like I said, I'm not like I kind of don't like them. Like Skyrim, it is the best way to play Skyrim. Although it's even then, like, I don't know, the Move controllers are... I think it depends just how the game, like, lets you calibrate them, because I think that's another problem, is sometimes the games don't let you recalibrate at all. Like, it's all, you have to, like, restart the game to do it, and that just, like, it can be a pain, because they do get out of sync a little bit sometimes. Because if they get blocked, and I don't know. But yeah, no, you don't necessarily need the Move controllers or the aim controller, although I would say for Farpoint you want it because it's really made for the aim controller and it works so well with it. In Skyrim, I'd also say you probably do want the Move controllers, but to start out, all
What
you
if I
need is a
don't
DualShock
want
4.
Skyrim?
Then yeah, you don't need the Move controllers in my opinion.
Shame on you.
You don't
Why
need-
don't you want
I don't.
Skyrim?
I thought the combat was boring.
Hey,
So did
Didn't have much
Hey.
fun with it.
so did Matt.
I said the exact same thing. Remember? I mean, did you forget? We completely agreed on Skyrim.
Oh yes, yes. I did.
Yeah, no, like in VR, it's a different story to me, at least. Like when you're actually swinging a sword, it's a lot more fun. I mean, but also just being in that
fine.
world.
I guess that makes sense.
But man, I mean, like it's really not even just that. It's just being in the world as opposed to seeing on a screen is also a huge thing. I mean, that's VR in general, but I feel like especially for this game because it's like such a scenic and like cool game where you're exploring stuff, and I feel like that's another type of thing that really lends itself to VR. But
It's excellent on the tiny Switch screen.
I mean, yeah, no, that is like a good kind of mobile game, I'd say. Like, 'cause those long form games can be, I feel like, more fun in mobile. Like Borderlands, I enjoyed quite a bit more on the Vita than any other console I have it on.
You know,
I heard
what?
that. I heard
do
the
need
teeth
to
grit
feed the
from here.
cats. They're overdue.
What? You guys both kind of talked at once, and I didn't hear either of you.
So I realized I was supposed to feed the cats half an hour ago. Oh well.
I said
you
I heard
fat
his teeth
bastards.
grit about Borderlands on Vita.
Well, he doesn't have a Vita, so he doesn't know how amazing it is.
I
Was.
was
Well, hey,
Was-
can you
was
Vita.
question mark?
can you play Borderlands 2 on Switch?
Not yet.
Just jam the
Okay.
disc in there. It'll fit.
Borderlands 3 though. Maybe.
Perhaps.
I wonder what happens when you put a PS4 disc in an Xbox 360.
Oh, he just says fuck off. Blinks. All right, guys. I gotta run. I'll catch you guys later.
All right.
Yep. Later.
Yeah, Thumper was another game that was on sale this week, and yeah, so I scooped that up. I'm psyched to play that in VR because that demo was awesome.
Yeah. There've been a lot of really tempting sales.
Yeah.
Recore and Xbox for like $10.
Oh, that's a good deal. I got that on Windows 10.
Yeah.
I
I
played a
downloaded the
little,
demo and it was okay.
I think I played the demo too. I really like it. It's just like another one of those games on my backlog that I need to get to, but yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think I might jump. I have like $30 in.